Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. The government of the city of Boulder, Colorado believes that the planet is going to burn up in the future unless we shut down fossil fuels. So 5 years ago they shut down their local coal-fired power plant, which was the largest one in the western United States. And they've also been working hard to shut down oil and gas development in their county. They believe the climate models and don't want their residents to burn up in the future. And the city is willing to freeze their residents now in order to save them from future imaginary global warming. After shutting down the reliable supply of energy over the past few years, the city is warning residents that energy prices will be up as much as 37% this year. The city is advising residents to turn down their thermostat and wear more clothes. It's not just up to your furnace to keep you warm. They also want people to turn down their hot water heater and wash their clothes in cold water. Global warming doesn't really seem to be a problem in Boulder right now. The forecast for the next few days is 8 inches of snow and minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 20 Celsius. The residents are going to have some pretty brutal energy bills because of their government's virtue signaling. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the International Energy Agency reports that coal usage will be at a record high this year. Coal production failed to keep pace with rebounding coal demand in 2021. In China and India, where coal shortages led to power outages and idled factories, domestic policies to ramp up production and reduce coal shortages were soon implemented. And in the year 2021, coal usage in the United States increased by 21% under the leadership of Joe Biden. 1 year earlier, under President Trump, coal production decreased 24% in the United States. Scientific American said we needed to elect Joe Biden to save the country from coal. And during Biden's first year, coal usage increased for the first time since 2014. I lived on and off in Boulder since 1995. It's one of the least racially diverse and most exclusive cities in the world. The population there is about 80% white Democrats, and they typically get their information from National Public Radio. NPR reports today that climate-driven floods will disproportionately affect black communities, study finds. There's an interesting history to this story. The worst floods in U.S. history occurred along the Mississippi River in 1927. The floods lasted for more than 6 months and made 1 million people homeless. Many of these people were descendants of slaves from the Civil War who had homesteaded along the Mississippi River. This made a huge change in the demographics of the United States, forcing hundreds of thousands of black farmers into northern industrial cities. But carbon dioxide levels were pretty low in 1927, and NPR is going to have a tough time blaming the floods on climate change. NPR is always a good source of climate entertainment. On January 18th of this year, they predicted record low ice levels on the Great Lakes. And 4 days later, Environment Canada reported above average ice levels on the Great Lakes for the third time in the past 5 years. It used to take about 10 years for NPR's climate forecasts to fail, but now they fail after only 4 days. When I lived in Boulder, I found that people there relied very heavily on the information they got from NPR. And as they're about to find out, there's a very high price to pay for being useful idiots. 2 years ago, Toto got fed up with living around crazy people in Boulder, and he moved to Wyoming. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.